Full time, Arsenal 1, Brentford 1, as the season of the Premier League enters into a critical stage to take a corner where we are expecting to differentiate who is going to be the winner and who are really going to be the second runner or the first runner-ups. Arsenal looks like the pressure has really gone up to the heads of their players and they can't hold it anymore, because in the previous 2 games, they've gone ahead to lose 5 points. They've lost 1 and drawn 1. Remember, if you are to sum up the previous 3 games they've just played, the recent 3 games they've played, they've lost 2 and drawn 1. After beating 3-2, after beating Manchester United at Emirates by 3-2, Arsenal have not gone ahead to register another win in this season. After beating Manchester United, they lost 1-0 to Man City. They were beaten by Everton 1-0, and today they've drawn 1-1. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's the place to be. Subscribe, and after subscribing, hit the notification bell. Looks like it's not a good day, because even in France, PSG has swallowed 3 goals in the first half. Chelsea drew 1-1 with West Ham today, and obviously another London derby that really took later in the day after Chelsea drawing 1-1 with West Ham is that of Arsenal versus Brentford, that has really gone ahead to end in a draw. And who scored for Arsenal first was Leandro Trossard in the 66th minute. What a way of intricate passing between Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka saw a cross coming in through to the far post using his weak left, that is the right foot, and obviously it found the unmarked Trossard and then tapped that ball into the back of the net. That was in the 66th minute. Then after 11 minutes, Ivan Toney went ahead to capitalize onto that aerial prowess win of Brentford into the box of Arsenal, and it was a set piece, and you know how good these teams will go ahead to score from set pieces. And obviously Ramsdale misread the flight of the ball, and is it Ben Mee? Ben Mee puts in his leg and obviously, or his header, and it finds Ivan Toney in the mouth of the goal, and he heads it home to make it 1-1. There was a VAR check. Let me show you a little bit. There was a VAR check at that juncture, but obviously VAR never turned down that rule, because the question was here between Thomas Partey and this guy who hits the ball first. Who plays him offside? This guy, shot 5. This was where VAR was really doing the analytics art, or the analysis art, but obviously they found it standing and the goal was given valid. And by the time the check was being taken, look at Ivan Toney. He was just here praying to see to it that this goal stands, because they were having all the chances to win this game of football. And I believe if they lost this game, they were the ones to blame, because they created very many chances. They created very many chances in the first half, especially. In the first half, they created very many chances, and Arsenal was just living under God's mercy. The most beautiful chance that was created in the entire game was that one. Comes in, a cutback is played. Mbeumo plays a cutback to find Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney with all loads of space. He places this ball and it strikes the frame of the goal, and obviously it went outside. So it was like the frame of the goal denied him the first goal in the 24th minute. That's when they really got this set of luck, and they never capitalized onto it. But very many more chances were really coming in through, flowing in abundance for Brentford, but Brentford failed to capitalize. And it shows you how Arsenal players were really not up to where they're supposed to be. I think there is a drop-off that we've gone ahead to notice in Arsenal players ever since that game of Manchester United. There is a huge drop-off, because Arsenal players always kept the fire on. They always kept the fire on, but this time around, they never look like they are having that sparking moment in them. And obviously, in the second half, in the 54th minute, Ivan Toney again came close. He came close, and the ball went into the side net in here for you. But look at the number of players that Arsenal were having. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Brentford were only having 5 people, and they were outnumbering these ones. Ivan Toney was given a return pass, and he went in for calling effort, and it went into the side net here for you. So Arsenal were lucky not to concede in the first half, and in the second half, As it started, Arsenal came in through and really capitalized onto the second half. And I can describe this game as a game of two halves. The first half was in total control of Brighton. Brighton were in total control of the game. The second half, it was Arsenal that had the lion's share of the possession of everything. Though Brighton had some cameos, but they are not all that threatening. But Arsenal had the second half in its hand, but they failed to capitalize onto that. But where does this lead us to? One, Arsenal has now dropped 2 points. Remember, if Arsenal won today, they would have gone 8 points ahead of City. Now they are 6 points ahead of City, and City is hosting Aston Villa. Arsenal has granted Man City an opportunity to get back into the title race. That's it. Arsenal have granted Man City an opportunity to get back into the title race. If Man City win tomorrow, they would have closed down to 3 points in between them and Arsenal. Remember, on Wednesday, it's a huge one. Arsenal versus Man City. I guarantee you, if Arsenal goes into the game of City, sloppy as they've been today, unless otherwise, City doesn't turn up. If at all City turns up, it will beat Arsenal. Arsenal players need to wake up. I think this is a wake-up call. It's a huge wake-up call that you are going to go on and play City if at all they win against Villa when you are 3 points. When you're 3 points apart. If Arsenal beats City, it will be 6. If City beats Arsenal, they would have leveled and City will overtake Arsenal because they've scored very many goals. Sorry, 4 more goals than they've scored. And the goal difference of Arsenal is 28. The goal difference of City is 32. They have a chance to really extend it to more if at all they win against Aston Villa tomorrow. Now, Arsenal is really known to where it's supposed to be because chances have been given to them to win this trophy. Chances have been given to Arsenal to win the trophy, and they are really trying to hand it over to the teams. You get? And today, this man was in the stands, and this is where you know that they are 100% missing out on this man. Let me show you the man I'm talking about. And it's not only one, but these 2 players that were in this photo are being missed by Arsenal because you reached an extent and you knew that the player who was really required to really unlock this Brentford side was this man. Gabriel Jesus. This guy. He was at the Emirates watching with Emily Smith-Rowe. But time reached when spaces to act in were too tight and Eddie Nketiah couldn't manage the situation. And who could have managed that situation? Gabriel Jesus. This man here for you. And he's just some 2 weeks away from return. I don't know whether by the time he comes back, Arsenal would have revived themselves into the title race and leading like that. Because Arsenal has been granted very many chances to go ahead and really take a lead, but they are not taking it. Against Manchester United, when we beat City, they went ahead and beat Tottenham Hotspur. That's it. For that, they really exonerated themselves. Now, after Arsenal losing to Everton, they had a chance before they played the game of Everton. Arsenal had a chance to go 8 points clear. They lose to Everton, and thankfully, lucky enough, City loses to Spurs. After that, what happens? Arsenal goes ahead to lose to Everton. And now they've gone ahead to draw with a side called Brentford. A result that I thought was going to be very easy for Arsenal to achieve because I knew that with those fans behind them, they can create nothing. They can create something from nothing. But today, it was really an effort that never came to pass. After Trossard came in through, scoring a very beautiful goal, I thought that Arsenal were going to compose themselves another now and compose themselves and put themselves in a driver's position of really managing this game better. But they couldn't manage the game. That was really so ugly of Arsenal. And I saw Mikel Arteta fuming on the touchline. And these players were not really doing the best. Gabriel Martinelli is a player that looks like he might lose his position. And I'm seeing that social media is all awash of him not starting the game of City because he did nothing in that entire game. The only effort that he had was this one. It was this one in the 7th minute. I think had 2 efforts. The other one was really hit over the bar. But this one, he came close and he tried to go on for a cutback, and obviously he was denied by Raya, the goalkeeper of Brentford. And he picked out an excellent run from deep, and obviously he gets a reverse pass, and the Brentford defense from the Brazilian. Raya is out quickly and manages to block Martinelli's cutback for a corner. So that is the effort. The other one came in through when I think Xhaka headed a ball to him, and he went in for a volley with his weak foot, and it went over the bar. Those are the only times I saw Martinelli having an impact into this game. But for the entire, 60 minutes, was on the field of play all plus, Martinelli never put out an impact. And I'm asking myself, what's wrong with Martinelli? Ever since he got a new contract, he is really looking sloppy. Was he playing for a contract? Because after getting a contract, Martinelli has never been the player he was. That's it. You can't agree with me. He has never been the player he was ever since he was given a contract of worth £180,000. So, lots of things are really unfolding, but if you are leading the table for the very first time, around this time, for the last 20 years, as Arsenal, you know very well that pressure will always come up and really climb onto the heads of your players. And the way you maintain that pressure, that's why the likes of Jorginho are here, Jesus and Zinchenko. I believe that Arsenal is going to play some more, is it 2 games? 2 games without Gabriel Jesus, I believe. But those 2 games, they're having Man City, they're having Aston Villa. So, if they can manage to pass through those games by getting 6 points or getting 4, like drawing with City and beating Aston Villa to keep that gap between them and City around 3 points, then Jesus returns on the game of Leicester City. I think they can go on a very huge run. As I told you, Arsenal had only lost 1 game and drawn 1 in the 14 games they played before we went to the World Cup. From the World Cup, Jesus was injured, and Arsenal has played its 7th game, not so? And they've drawn 2 and lost 1. It shows you that Jesus was the glue to this team. He was the leader. These games like this, the game of Everton, Arsenal doesn't lose it when they're having Jesus. They don't lose it. They don't lose the game. This game today, when they're having Jesus, they win it. Remember, the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers Arsenal played last before we went to the World Cup. Who wins it for them? It's Jesus who goes for a no-look pass to find Fabio Vieira. And Fabio Vieira does a square into the mouth of goal to find Odegaard. And Odegaard taps it in. That's where Arsenal capitalizes onto that to go ahead and really do the needful and really get a second goal from Odegaard. After that, you see to it that the effort was deliberate to see Gabriel Jesus creating spaces and pressing these players. Gabriel Jesus is a threat. If you are marking Eddie Nketiah, you won't be afraid and threatened a lot when, as same as you are marking Gabriel Jesus. Jesus is the missing piece in this team. And as time goes on, you'll get to know that he's the most important player at Arsenal. You know, there are games that Arsenal would hate to win, you get? And people are so excited that Eddie Nketiah can lead us through the season. I know Eddie Nketiah can act as a backup for Gabriel Jesus, but not in all the games. There are games where you need a character, the technical ability, the experience, the press resistance, the pressing, and the huge heart of Gabriel Jesus to come in and help you. These are the kind of games that Arsenal needed Jesus, and he was nowhere to be seen. All of the games that Arsenal won, little credit was always given to that man. I saw very many Arsenal fans trying to match out Eddie Nketiah and Jesus, that Eddie Nketiah is really having more goals to game ratio than Gabriel Jesus. Now, after getting such results, Arsenal fans will get to know that they need to put respect on a man's name known as Gabriel Jesus. And in the 15th minute, there was a penalty appeal and call by Arsenal. after Bukayo Saka was put inside. He linked up between, there was a link up between him and Odegaard. Then Bukayo Saka got a nudge as Henry runs across him. He ran across his heel, by the way, but he stood on his foot-long period enough to take the ball at Raya. No penalty. But I think if Bukayo Saka falls immediately, Henry comes in through to really touch his ankle, a penalty is given. But he was pushed. After being pushed, he kept in motion. That's why the penalty was denied. And I believe it really did them bad, because if at all he went down, Arsenal would have got themselves a penalty. And as I told you, that the first goal would have been important, because it would have gone ahead to give Arsenal more confidence and composure. Most of the games that Arsenal have gone ahead to win, they score fast. You can agree with me. They score fast, and they score in the first half. Arsenal is one of the teams that I've seen score very many goals in the first half. At Emirates, I think the only game that I saw at Emirates that Arsenal never scored a goal in the first half was against Fulham. You get? But against Leicester City, Arsenal had 2 goals, I think, at half-time. Against Aston Villa, they had scored at half-time. Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham, Manchester United, I think they had goals in the first half. But this game, Arsenal had not scored a goal in the first half. That means it's the second game that Arsenal have gone goalless by half-time in this entire season. The beauty of this, there's some positivities, that Arsenal have not lost a game at their stadium. They've turned it into a fortress that everyone fears to go all out and play there. And that's another good effort that Arsenal really capitalizing onto them. Even at the beginning of the second half, Bukayo Saka had a chance that would have been counted, but obviously it never really went in there, and it was saved by the goalkeeper Raya of a side called called Brentford. So after that, we get into the stats. The rest of the things I'll discuss them more player per player. I'm going to come back with the player ratings, and that's when I'm going to come out and really tussle it out. But let's go to the player ratings. Not the player ratings. These are the Steam stats. Arsenal had 23 shots. Brentford had 9. 7 shots on target. This is less. Very, very much less. That means Arsenal lacked composure in front of goal. And they would have had like 12 shots on target. That's it. Then 2 shots on target by Brentford. 70% possession by Arsenal. 30% possession by Brentford. 587 passes completed by Arsenal. 263 passes completed by Brentford. 86% passing accuracy by Arsenal. 68% passing accuracy by Brentford. 9 fouls committed by Arsenal. 9 fouls committed by Brentford. 0 yellow cards to Arsenal. 2 to Brentford. Red cards, 0 to both sides, 1 offside to both sides, 7 corners to Arsenal, and 4 to Brentford. So how does our table look like? Our table looks like this. Oh, Arsenal is nowhere to be seen on the table. How come? Our table has to be having Arsenal. Arsenal is topping the Premier League table. 21 games played, 16 points. 16 games won, 3 drawn, 2 losses, 46 goals scored, 18 goals conceded, 28 goal difference with 51 points. Man City are now level with Arsenal. 21 games played, 14 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses, 53 goals scored. They've conceded 21 with a goal difference of 32, and they're having 45 points. So right now, Arsenal is 6 points clear ahead of Man City. But if Man City win tomorrow, it will be 48. And they are playing one another on Wednesday in a what we are going to call a give or take match, where if Arsenal gives away the win, then they are going to level with Man City, and Man City is going to go on top of the Premier League table. You know why? City is having a much more goal difference than that of Arsenal. Manchester United, 22 games played, they're having 43 points. They're 8 points. They're 8 points behind Arsenal and 2 behind City. Newcastle is playing tonight. 21 games. They play today. They're going to play against Bournemouth. They win. They are going to be at 43 points, and that means United will go fourth. And Spurs have been beaten today by Leicester City 4-1, and that means they are really trying to say bye-bye to the top 4 positions. And it's really alarming for Tottenham Hotspur. After beating City, you go away and Leicester turns you into a drum. That is really uncalled for, because you need to show some consistency, and that's why you see to it that this table might not change a lot, because all teams that would have come in through to create pressure on Newcastle, Manchester United are really losing. Liverpool is always losing. Chelsea has drawn today. Spurs have lost, so they are lacking consistency to come in through and be with the needful. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. That has been my match reaction of Arsenal 1, Brentford 1 here on the Rokani Media Football. I sign out for now. See you later. I'm returning with the player ratings. So keep in touch. I know it's really hurting for Arsenal fans, but these are facts that you must go ahead and really take in. It's really painful. It's a sour pill, but you have to go ahead and really accept that this is where you pass to become a winner in the Premier League. It's not an easy run, as the manager told you. The manager of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, said it's not a rosy path for us to go all out and win this game or win this title. It's not going to be easy. He promised a bounce back, but the bounce back really failed this time around, and Arsenal has gone ahead to drop 2 points at the Emirates. A second draw of their season. The rest of the games have been wins for Arsenal. But hard luck, Arsenal have one thing to do to rejuvenate themselves. They should come on Wednesday ready to beat Man City. If they beat Man City, then they would have gone ahead to enlighten their chances more on winning the trophy, and it will be a jump. It will be an energy-giving win. It will be a bounce back that they would have really needed, because for the previous 3 games they've not gotten a win. They lost to Man City, and they lost to Everton, and they've drawn to Brentford. Very bad win, very bad stretch for Arsenal. I think Mikel Arteta is fuming, and obviously we can't wait to see his reaction after this loss to a side known as, it's not a loss, it's a draw to a side known as Brentford. I'm out.